US Vice President JD Vance touched down in India with one goal: to keep India close and Chinese influence at bay. But his offerings, Javelin missiles and Stryker vehicles, felt oddly retro in a world that is tilting towards drone swarms and algorithmic warfare. So is this strategic partnership? Or is America offloading its legacy weapons, calling it visionary defense cooperation? Hello and welcome, I'm Geeta Mohan and you're watching Statecraft. Vance's visit to India was not meant to be a major diplomatic event. Initially billed as a personal or a private visit, the trip soon morphed into a whirlwind of trade talks, high-level meetings, bold strategic overtures. At stake, a $129 billion trade relationship hanging in the balance due to Trump's 26% tariff threat, suspended for just 90 days. And a growing Indo-Pacific alliance meant to check China's rise. But among all the headlines, one detail sparked intense debate: Vance's pitch to sell traditional American arms to a country striving for tech-based military modernization. Is this partnership or subtle exploitation? Ever since his arrival in India, JD Vance has made several defense headlines that drew both applause and alarm. Speaking in Jaipur, he praised the ancient majesty of India's architecture while pushing a vision of future cooperation, one anchored in trade, tech, and tanks. President Trump wants America to grow, he wants India to grow, Vance declared, invoking the shared destiny of two democracies. But behind the spiritual reverence and photogenic diplomacy was a message laced with steel: Buy American. From energy to electronics to elite weaponry, Vance made it clear that India must deepen its dependency on US systems to truly be a strategic partner. Nowhere was this clearer than in defense. His offer, co-production and purchase of Javelin anti-tank missiles and Stryker infantry combat vehicles, both time-tested and really good systems. But far from revolutionary in a world where most countries are looking towards drones as the new form of warfare that's changing battleground tactics and the future of how conflicts are going to look like. While Indian officials touted this entire meeting as transformational, many are asking, why now? Why these weapons? India's military doctrine has evolved dramatically over the past 2 decades. From cold start strategies to cyber-centric capabilities, New Delhi has invested in layered defense, part boots on ground, part bites in air. Indigenous drone development is accelerating, cyber defense units are expanding, and satellites now form part of India's active battlefield mapping capabilities. Yet, when Vance visited, the spotlight wasn't on AI, drones, or hypersonics. It was on missiles built for tank warfare and vehicles designed for terrain-based conflict. India's northwestern front is also the eastern front, with Pakistan and China are hot, dynamic, and unpredictable. Surely enough, Javelins will do well in such terrains like Ladakh, the Thar, even the eastern front. But are these weapons good enough or cost-effective enough when there are drones, unmanned aerial vehicles, unmanned, the size of birds, that can neutralize armored columns from the sky? This is where India must tread carefully. The optics of deepening US military ties are potent, especially with an eye on Beijing. But the balance between traditional armament and modern warfare must be struck wisely. Buying American shouldn't mean buying outdated. The defense deals didn't happen in a vacuum. Just days before the visit, Trump administration had announced a 26% tariff on Indian imports. A gut punch to India's economy, especially its fragile agricultural exports. The tariffs were paused for 90 days, giving New Delhi just enough time to scramble for a resolution. Enter JD Vance. On paper, the visit looked like realignment of India-US strategic partnership. But some critics say it felt like coercive diplomacy, a friend offering a helping hand with weapons. On the other hand, twisting India with an economic arm. Is India truly an equal partner, or is it a customer being nudged toward the showroom? This accusation is not new, but it's sharper now. Is India becoming a dumping ground for American weapons? Supporters of the deal argue otherwise. Javelins have proven battlefield effectiveness. Strykers are versatile and robust. These aren't obsolete relics. They're real assets, interoperable with other American systems and capable of boosting India's conventional strength. But there's nuance here. Selling Strykers at a time when Russia and Ukraine are showcasing the devastating efficiency of drones and drone strikes. Selling anti-tank missiles to India at a time when China is moving towards modernization of the military through electronic warfare and through unmanned aerial vehicles. The concern isn't just obsolescence, it's opportunity cost. Every dollar spent on traditional weapons is a dollar not spent on drone swarms, loitering munitions, or next-gen surveillance networks. If America truly sees India as a peer, then why not look towards the future? Why not look at co-development of drone systems, space-based technologies, technology sharing and technology transfer fully? Instead, the pitch feels like the Cold War era, where weapons were sold, profitable, reliable, but certainly not forward-looking. To his credit, JD Vance doesn't shy from grand visions. "We want to make a bright new world," he proclaimed, echoing a Trumpian narrative of proud growth, cultural pride, and economic resurgence.
Prime Minister Modi welcomed me, Usha, and our 3 small children at his beautiful home. I've been amazed by the ancient beauty of the architecture of India, by the richness of India's history and traditions, but also by India's laser-like focus on the future. And those things, I think this appreciation for history and tradition and this focus on the future is very much something that I think animates this country in 2025. Now, in other countries I visited, it sometimes feels like there's a flatness, a sameness, a desire to just be like everyone else in the world. But it's different here. There's a vitality to India, a sense of infinite possibility, of new homes to be built, new skylines to be raised, and lives to be enriched. And there's a pride in being Indian, a feeling of excitement about the days that lie ahead. Now, it's a striking contrast with too many in the West, where some in our leadership class seem stricken by self-doubt and even fear of the future. To them, humanity is always one bad decision away from catastrophe. The world will soon end, they tell us, because we're burning too much fuel, or making too many things, or having too many children. And so, rather than invest in the future, they too often retreat from it. We want to build a bright new world, one that's constantly innovating, one that's helping people to form families, making it easier to build, invest, and trade together in pursuit of common goals. Now, I believe that our nations have much to offer one another, and that's why we come to you as partners looking to strengthen our relationship. Now, we're not here to preach that you do things any one particular way. Too often in the past, Washington approached Prime Minister Modi with an attitude of preachiness, or even one of condescension. Prior administrations saw India as a source of low-cost labor on the one hand, even as they criticized the Prime Minister's government, arguably the most popular in the democratic world, and as I told Prime Minister Modi last night, he's got approval ratings that would make me jealous. But it wasn't just India. This attitude captured too much of our economic relationship with the rest of the world. So we shipped countless jobs overseas, and with them our capacity to make things, from furniture, appliances, and even weapons of war. We traded hard power for soft power, because with economic integration, we were told, would also come peace through sameness. Over time, we'd all assume the same sort of bland, secular, universal values.
Those lines struck a chord. India has grown weary of Western condescension. Vance's tone, collaborative, humble, and strategic, resonated more deeply than all other US officials who came before him. In words, America was not selling weapons to India, America was offering partnership. But partnerships are measured not in rhetoric, but in reciprocity. Does co-production truly mean joint development or assembly line dependency? Are technology transfers real or riddled with caveats and controls? Will America support India's own defense sector or expect it to toe the line of Lockheed, Raytheon, and General Dynamics? These are questions India must ask. The elephant, or particularly the dragon in the room, is China. From Galwan to the South China Sea, India and the US share growing concerns over Beijing's expansionism. Vance was clear: India is central to securing the Indo-Pacific. His praise for India hosting the upcoming Quad summit wasn't merely formality. The stakes are real. With Japan, Australia, and the US, India stands as a bulwark against a rising China, militarily, economically, and ideologically. In this context, weapon sales are not just commercial, they are strategic. Interoperability among Quad forces requires shared systems. The Strykers may not be flashy, but they help align platforms. The Javelins may not fly, but they flatten threats that do. As regional dynamics shift, India must ask, are we leading the way or following the American strategy? Will buying American help India deal with securing the Indo-Pacific or just follow the lead of the United States of America? Defense aside, Vance's visit opened doors in technology and energy. He pitched US LNG to replace Russian oil. He talked up AI collaboration, cyber defense, and Silicon Valley India synergies. He hinted at F-35 fighter jet sales in the future. He emphasized mutual respect, fair deals, and shared democratic values. And that's where the visit took on a bigger meaning. This wasn't just about tariffs and tanks. It was about redefining the US-India relationship for a chaotic century. Trump's transactionalism is well known. Vance, however, added a layer of idealism. Whether that's genuine or just political packaging remains to be seen. But it worked, at least for now. India left the meetings feeling heard. America left feeling hopeful. But hope alone won't modernize armies. JD Vance's visit to India marked a pivotal moment in Indo-US relations, with praises, promises, and hopes of a better future. But underneath the ceremony lies strategic tension. India is being offered weapons for wars that may never be fought in the old ways. It's being nudged into deals that could define its defense landscape for decades. The message from Washington is clear: buy American, partner deep, stand tall. But in an era of drones, AI warfare, and digital battlefields, can India afford to buy yesterday's arsenals and call it a vision for tomorrow? Thank you for watching Statecraft.